Alright, our second video is going to be reviewing solving equations and inequalities. The reason that I'm actually having a video on here is to look at some examples of some equations where people usually make their mistakes. So I know you know how to solve a one-step, a two-step, and most multi-step equations, but I want to go through and look at not only some multi-step equations, but some rational equations as well, and review how to solve those. So let's start out with, I've got 4 examples that I'm going to quickly go through, and that will be it. So first one, just solving equations. Remember, whenever you have parentheses, you want to get rid of those right away. So we've got our distributive property that we're going to use. So 4 times 2x and 4 times 1. So that gives me 8x plus 4 minus 6x equals x plus 18. I always suggest that you combine similar terms if they're on the same side of the equal sign. So we've got 2x plus 4 is equal to x plus 18. Then get your x's on the same side. Most likely people like to bring theirs over to the left. And x plus 4 now equals 18. And then I can subtract 4 from both sides, and we end up with x is equal to 14. Now remember that you can always, especially if you're taking a test, take this answer 14, plug it back in for x up above, make sure that it works out. So here you've got a multi-step equation that I'm sure all of us are very comfortable solving. Now the next couple that we're going to be getting into have some fractions involved. And what I want to review with you is how to get rid of those fractions, because yeah, you could take this and subtract 9/2 and divide by 2/3, but with some of the problems that we're going to be getting to later, it's not that easy. So we really need to get rid of those fractions first. So remember that what we can do is look at all of your denominators and find a common multiple. So 3, 2, and 6. When I think a common multiple of those 3 numbers, what comes to mind is 6. If I multiply both sides of my equation by 6, what this is going to do is it's going to eliminate those fractions for me. And I'm going to end up with 6 times 2/3 x. So you've got 6 times 2, which is 12. 12 divided by 3 is going to give you 4. So I end up with 4x. Then I take, I'm going to go ahead and take 6 times 9/2. So 6 times 9, that's going to give us 54. And then I have 54 divided by 2, which is going to give me 27. And then over here, 5 times 6 is 30. 30 divided by 6 ends up giving us 5. Another way that I sometimes like to do this is I take 6 divided by 3, which is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 9 is 27. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. I sometimes think that's a little bit easier, but it's up to you. So now that my fractions are all gone, now I just have a 2-step equation here where I can subtract 27 from both sides. So 4x is equal to negative 22. And we're going to divide by 4. And we end up with x is equal to negative 22 fourths. Now negative 22 fourths, we can simplify that. We can divide both of those by 2. So I get negative 11 halves. And what I do want you guys to start getting used to is start getting used to writing everything out as fractions. Unless you are working with a real world story problem, you want to always keep it as an exact answer. Story problems, things like that, you can approximate them, but I want you guys to try and get used to using exact answers, even if the decimal is only 0.5. Try and get everything written out as fractions. So now we are going to get into rational equations, solving rational equations, and this is where some of you might have forgotten what to do. But if you can get rid of your fractions like we did here, then a problem like this is not that difficult. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to look at our denominators of 3, 4, and 2, and we're going to find a common multiple. So 3, 4, and 2, a common multiple there is going to be 12. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides of my equation here by 12. Now this next step, I'm going to write it out in its entirety just so you can see what's happening. Many of you will probably eliminate this once you show your work. So if I multiply by 12, what I'm going to do here is multiply both parts by 12. That means I'm taking 12 times the quantity of x minus 1 divided by 3, plus 12 times the quantity of x plus 5 divided by 4, and then I'm taking 12 times 1/2. Now that I'm just writing out everything, so you can see how these fractions are now going to be eliminated. 12 divided by 3 is going to give us 4, so I get 4 times the quantity of x minus 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so I get 3 times the quantity of x plus 5. And 12 times 1/2 is 6. So what's happened here is we went from having these rational equations down to no fractions at all. They've been eliminated. Now just using our distributive property, so 4x minus 4 plus 3x plus 15 equals 6, we can go ahead and solve. Combine like terms, so 7x plus 11 equals 6. Subtract 11 from both sides. 7x is equal to negative 5. And then divide by 7. And we should end up with x is equal to negative 5/7. Our final example, I'm going to see how I am here with time, so 6 minutes, not bad at all. Hopefully we can have this done around 10 minutes, is when you're solving inequalities. So I'm using another example here with the rational inequalities, just so you can see this being done again. And even though here, if you look at this, I only see 2 fractions, don't forget we also have a fraction here, 2 plus x all over 1. So when I look at my denominators, make sure that you think about that 1 that's there, and you're trying to find a common multiple. A lot of times what people will do is they'll just, okay, 6 times 8, so then you get 48. But that's fine, you can do that, and you can still solve it, but I'm going to go ahead and use the least common multiple, which is going to be 24. So I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation here, or my inequality I should say, because I have the greater than or equal to sign there. Multiply that out. Here's the part I'm going to save some time and kind of eliminate writing everything out. And if I take 24 divided by 6, so that's going to end up giving me 4. So now I have 4 times the quantity of 3 minus 4x. Now if I take 4 divided by 8, that's going to give me 3. Now I have the negative sign here, so I've got minus 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 24 divided by 1 is 24. So 24 times the quantity of 2 plus x. There we are. Fractions are all gone. Go ahead and use our distributive property. So I have 12 minus 16x minus 6x plus 9, negative 3 times a negative 3, is greater than or equal to 48 plus 24x. Combine like terms, so I'm going to end up with 21 minus 22x is greater than or equal to 48 plus 24x. And we're going to bring everything over to the left-hand side here, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 24x from both sides. So 21 minus, let's see, 46x is sorry, so negative 46 is greater than or equal to, so 48. And then we're going to subtract 21 from both sides. Negative 46x is greater than or equal to, and that's going to give us 27. And now I'm going to go ahead and just double checking something real quick. Okay, sorry. So now I'm going to divide by negative 46. And one thing I want you to remember is since we're solving an inequality at this point, because I'm dividing by a negative number, remember that you must switch that inequality around. That's going to be, a lot of times people forget about that part. So now x is less than or equal to 27 divided by negative 46. And when you take 27 divided by 46, double check, see if you can simplify it, which we cannot. So there's our answer. So when you are solving inequalities, just make sure that you look to see that if you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, that you flip that inequality around, and that's going to be really important. So just going through these 4 examples, I was able to keep it under, just about 10 minutes. As we go through and solve these problems in class, realize you're going to make some little mistakes here or there, but try and really get rid of those fractions right away, because I think that will eliminate some of them. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see you in class.